Hi, I'm Rob from Towson Presbyterian Church, along with Ruth Ann and Alan Randolph, two phenomenal long-term members. In fact, they've been members here at Towson Presbyterian for 28 years. And during that time, you all have been great witnesses to what it means to give of heart and hand and time and treasure in so many different ways. I know you've both been elders. They've both served on the session, which is our church's governing board. Ruth Ann, you've been a deacon. You've served on multiple teams. I know you're on our stewardship team right now, Ruth Ann, and Alan's on our mission team. You've taught Sunday school. You've led at our summer bee tree camp for kids and so much more. But on top of all that, I know you really have a heart for mission, for local mission, and also for global mission. I know you've had your hearts and hands invested in our annual Honduras mission trip. And you were just telling me about the previous involvement with the church in Kenya as well, and how meaningful that has been, as well as Ghana. And Ruth Ann, I know you've been very active with ACTC and Habitat, but also you've been instrumental in the formation of our church's Sunday community lunch program.
Yeah, that's true.
So clearly you guys really have a heart for giving. So if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little bit what motivates you to give?
Well, I guess there's several things. One thing is, I think it's a sense of responsibility, a sense of duty. It's like we look and we say, well, without people giving and especially pledging and giving on a consistent basis, the church can't do a lot of the things that it needs to do that we want it to do. Things like programming, the music program, being able to buy the music, the staff, the hymnals in the pews at the church, the heating, the air conditioning, little things like that are kind of like sort of behind the scenes. It's like we were talking earlier, like you replace the roof in the church, nobody sees that, but you do see the leak that's coming in in the church and that kind of thing. So I think it's a sense of that we all, if we're going to be coming here and be a participant in the church, that we need to be sharing in the responsibility of keeping the doors open, so to speak, paying the bills, paying our electric bill, all those kind of things like that, that without that kind of general, ebb and flow of money coming in and people spending time to fixing. I know like we have the Blue Jeans Sunday once a year, and people can come and work on gardening around the, weeding and stuff like that, and they're clean wash windows, those things like that are kind of a hands-on way of participating. But we definitely need the money coming in to pay the bills and keep things going, and so I think that's part of it, a sense of that responsibility. I think I certainly learned, I'm sure Ruth Ann would say the same thing. We saw that with our parents, that they were people they didn't have a lot of means, but they did give to the church, and they saw it as something they should do to help support the everyday activities of the church. Beyond the things of the special things, but just the everyday, kind of day in and day out, things have to go on.
Let me just jump on that, and I agree with you. I think that we have at Towson Presbyterian such a creative staff, and flexible and creative in the way we do things. And I think one of the wonderful aspects to me and a motivator is that we can do so much more together. And it takes giving, it takes dollars and cents, and it takes creativity and thinking among our members too to pull this off. But I think we can do so much more good together than we could individually. And we are a Christian community of faith. We are not all the same at all, but that makes us even better. And so we're an inclusive community. I just think we can do so much more together, and so that's what we're doing.
Well, like you were saying earlier, Ruth Ann, that when we work together, we can do good in the world. We can make a difference to people around us, locally, nationally, internationally, and all of our members. because we work together.
And I think that's what we're called to do. I think that's what
That's a
we,
community, yeah.
as a community,
Amen.
are called to do.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, and you all really model for us what it means to be so generous with yourselves, with your time, and frankly, with your treasure, your gifts. So let me ask, have you always been generous, or is generosity something you have found yourselves kind of growing into?
Yeah, I can jump on that one first. I think that we've always felt it's important to give to the church we belong to, whatever church we belong to over the years. I think as time has gone on and we've had more means, we've increased our giving to the church. But we've also felt like that it's important to give beyond the church to support other initiatives, like things like cancer research or public television, public radio, our colleges and universities, so that we feel like that giving is, again, that bigger societal thing. There's a society out there that has lots of pieces to it, and the church is a big piece, very big piece for us, but there are other pieces there that we also like to support, feel like that's important as well.
I think that we've always, I would ditto what Alan said, we've given to the church more money recently because we have more availability. When we were raising our 3 children, we had less money available.
Absolutely.
And we get that. But I think we've always been tuned in and felt that this was a valuable thing, that the church was valuable to our family. And so we've always given our time, and we've always given our monetary resources too, but always our time. It's not just one.
No, there's a lot of different
Yeah,
ways to
yeah,
give.
yeah.
And generosity comes in many different forms, right? With time,
Exactly.
with treasure, with talent. So knowing the generosity is such a key value for you. What adjectives would you ascribe to generosity? How do you feel when you give?
I feel it's the right thing to do. It's sort of like, mindful not to, I feel it's the right thing to do, that in giving we receive. And it's not exactly clear how we receive, but there's a trust element that you give out into our community through this church, through Towson Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
And there is the reciprocal. I don't know exactly how or when, but it goes.
You
comes
feel
back.
blessed
Yeah.
in giving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and I
feel
don't think it's like-
fortunate to be able to do that.
It's not
Yeah.
like giving so that we receive, but it's that
Right.
when we do give, we receive something back. And it might be paying it forward to something that we don't even know what's going to happen, how it's going to affect us. But yeah, there's a certain, I mean, it feels good to be supporting something that you believe in, that you have that you think is important in your life, the lives of your children, the lives of other people. So yeah, I think it's that kind of thing.
Well, last but certainly not least, can you tell us a little bit of the ways you have seen the way your gifts have affected others at TPC or has shaped the life of TPC? What difference has your gifts made?
Well, that's a good question. I think, well, we've talked about Sunday community lunch. We started talking about that early on. A lot of, in the past, say, 8 or 9 years, my energy has gone towards that. Money has gone towards that. Effort has gone towards that. Research has gone towards that. Actually doing it. And I've seen that make a difference. We have lots of good programs going on. Part of it is feeding people who are hungry or who
Well, like ACTC as well.
and
Towson.
the Assistance Center of Towson Churches that we support. We're a major supporter, not alone, but see, we're with many other churches supporting this wonderful effort there. So that's where a lot of my energy has gone. and financial
I think
resources
that's been
too.
also the intergenerational garden that we have beside the church. We grow a lot of vegetables and foods that are then donated to the Assistance Center for Towson Churches as a form of healthy food to share with people.
Yep.
And that's, different, kids, adults and grandparents all work together on that. And so that's a very much of a gift of a labor of love. And I think the other thing that's very near and dear to our hearts is the some of the global mission that our church has gotten involved in over many years. And
That's
just,
true.
Just a few examples. We had a church we worked with in Ghana for many years, and we would send money to them. They would send pictures. They sent people to visit here. They even named their Sunday school the Towson Presbyterian Sunday School, which is really exciting. We helped with bringing a young family from Kenya to here who were leaving there because of to seek political asylum. It was not a very safe place for them to be, and they came here, and our church really stepped up and supported them and helped them in many ways. And certainly one of the biggest things that we've done is our annual mission trips to Honduras, which has been going on for over 20 years. I mean, it started a long time ago, and that's just been, it's grown. Initially, it was really much about building houses for people there, and then over time,
And a women's shelter.
and also community building and the women's shelter. Over time, it's been added. We added dentistry. We go there and help people with their needs to see dentists. And then more recently, a medical team's been going. And, and we've really, when we go there, I mean, it's not so apparent, I guess, with the medical, the dental. I mean, you try to teach some good practice of medical practice and good practice of dental practice. But with the houses and the community building, you're saying, let us work with you and show you how to do some things that you can continue. And so a good example of that is that 2 years ago we went to Honduras and we built eco stoves. So the people, they would have these stoves that would really create a lot of smoke in their house. It was very, very unhealthy. And so we had come up with a design, actually we got off the internet, about how to build stoves that burned a lot less wood, put no smoke into their homes, and the smoke went out the chimney. And so we went down there, we built like 6 or 8 stoves in this one village. But we worked with them to show them how to do it. And they were very, very, very useful, very interested in how to do that. We learned, and they learned together with them. We worked together, and some of us speak Spanish pretty well, so we were able to communicate directly with the people. And then we left them. We were able to give them some more money through the hardware store there, and they built stoves in all the other 20 homes in their village. So now every
That's
home in
amazing.
that village
Yeah.
has a stove that is ecologically friendly and certainly much better for their health. So I think that's been a really big thing for me, and Ruth Ann's been involved in that several times, but it's a big thing for our church. I mean, it's like on the global level, it's like Sunday community lunches on the local level. It's like, so, yeah.
Well
Yeah.
said. Well, gosh. Ruth Ann and Alan, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
taking the time to share with us. We are indeed very grateful to you, and we look forward to many more missional and generous endeavors together.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Rob.
you, Rob.
Thanks.
As we like to say, see you Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.